Hi, welcome to another video from Forward Cycling. We're in a rural location today to talk about Jenny's bike, which is all ready for the Komoot Women's Arizona Rally. She's heading off on Wednesday, so we just thought we'd take the opportunity to show you her new setup. So it's quite a lot of updates since the Pennine Rally that she did, and just thought we'd show you around it. So I will talk about all of the updates, and then I'll probably cover off the stuff I've done in the service, because we did a detailed service yesterday in it. So bike wise, as you probably know with Jenny's bike, this is the Forward GR20 in the smallest size we do, which poses a challenge to where on earth we're going to put all the equipment on it. After the last rally, we had a few bits and pieces and feedback from Jenny about what she wanted to update. So we've moved across to, Jenny's moved across to the tail fin stuff. So I'm going to show you the cockpit first, because this is where some of the biggest issues came from original setup. So as you can see, it's got the brand new tail fin handlebar mounting system and the bag setup. So this is the 9.1 litre bag, so the small one, and it's obviously for the drop bars, so it's got the mechanism which click over the top here, and it's got the additional pocket here as well. And we will do another part of the video in a second with Jenny just explaining what she's packed into each pocket. So first of all, we got that bag on there, and as you can see, she's got loads of space to be able to get her hands on to the grips, and also here she never used to be able to hold onto that or there. And then also the biggest issue she had was the frame rub. I don't know if you remember our last video, we showed you a bit of a last minute repair we did where we put a little rubber thing in here which just didn't work very well on the rally, so she told me off for that when she got back. And then also we're having huge problems with the bag bouncing and rubbing on the front tyre, and as you can see there, loads and loads of clearance. So Tailfin actually tell us that we should, in the specification it says we should have 20mm gap here and then a 15mm gap on the frame, but I just wanted to be really careful and give a load of space, so I've gone way more than what was needed, but we had a bit of extra space there to be able to do that. So that's the first thing, and then this then allows us to have this really cool mechanism on the handlebar, which is the mounting system, because you use this lever to undo the bag, and then the bag will lift off like so. I'm trying to do it one-handed, and then it will click back into there, and then you pull the lever to lock it down. But it does give us the opportunity to put the Wahoo mount on there. So we've got the Wahoo computer, Jenny's trusty, that's the V2, and then that mounts on there nicely. And then we've changed lighting now. I was a bit worried about the lighting before where it was hidden down here, so you couldn't really see anything with the light because it was in the bag was in the way. So we've got the Nog blinder, that's the 1300 lumen light, USB-C chargeable. And then what I've done is I mounted it with the standard round mount, which this is a mounting kit that comes from Tailfin. And the reason we've done that is that she wanted to be able to change the angle, so as she's riding she wants to be able to move it up and down. And then the other mount that you can get for these lights, which is the GoPro style mount, you can't move the angle, so I've done that, pop that on there as well. But that was some feedback she wanted to do on it. So that's how the bracket system works. Really cool. She's done some test rides and is really happy with it. Next thing on the front we had issues with on the last trip was the bags on the forks. So she had an issue where her bags had sort of worn through, and then all of her food in there got all mushy because it was raining and destroyed all her food, which isn't ideal if you're in the middle of the Arizona desert. I guess the rain wouldn't get in there because it's not going to be rain, but she doesn't really want any problems. So these are the Tailfin 5 litre fork packs, and these again use that same type of system as there, but just down the back there. So Jenny I think is going to pop it off and just show us, and they just pop off as quick as that. And then if we kind of have a look at the back of it, so this is the mechanism, which is just awesome. So that's the locking mechanism. It's got a little spring in there which locks it off. And then on the bike we've got this little mount which is absolutely brilliant. So that just mounts in there with the 3 bolts into the GR20 forks, and these have Loctite in just to give us a bit of safety, and so they don't come off. So if we can just pop it back on again, see how well it goes on. So it has like a little hook on it, and it just hooks on from the front, clicks down like that. fantastically demonstrated. And a cool thing with this is I really like the idea of just being able to take the modules off and do stuff. So as I said, Jenny will tell us what's in each of these bags. So we got the bag on the front, one fork bag there, one fork bag there. As you can see, loads of nice clearance from the forks, so they're not rubbing the fork. And then that's how it mounts there on the mount at the back there, which is really cool. So that's those ones. Top tube bag, got the 1.1 litre tail fin. These have got the rigidity things in the side, so it makes it much more sturdy. It doesn't have to have a loop around the front, and it just mounts there nice and rigid. So she's gained some space there. Gained space on the side on the fork packs, and I believe gained space on the front pack ish. We might have to verify that, but I think there's gained a little bit of space there. But the frame bag, we have lost significant space on the frame bag over the last one. Main reason is because of the tiny frame. So this is the one that fits in there. Doesn't fit quite as perfectly as it does on mine, because you see this strap has to sort of angle forward to go through the mount there. But it does mean that when this is bolted on, you can just put this on without having to take the top tube bag off, which you have to do on many setups. So this is only a 2.3 litre, but it does give us more space for bottles and stuff underneath to be able to carry water, or mainly get these in and out. But as you can see, we're still limited on this back bottle. We can't go any lower with the brackets. And if we go bigger, we could put a 800 in there, but it will touch up under there, and we're worried about it wearing into the bag. So we've gone with a 600 there, but we have put the tail fin dropper there, and that then means we can put an 800 underneath. So this will be just for carrying water. As you can see, we're not going to want to drink that because it's going to be disgusting, but that's more so to carry, and then maybe that's for the campsite to do cooking and stuff, or you can decant into this bottle. So that's that. So yes, that's a 2.3 litre there. And then we got this awesome tail fin on the back. If you've seen the video about my bike, this is the system I've been using for a couple of years, and this is the latest iteration. It's very similar to mine, basically the same, but there's a couple of updates. So we got the tail fin rack on there. So this is the carbon fibre version. We've gone with the quick release through axle. So that's the through axle with the 1.5 mil, 1.5 by 12 mil threaded axle, and then you've got your little ends on there, and then you pull these to release it, to take it off. And then we've also got the extended version. So this section here is the longer version. So when you order it, it'll just be the long version, and we've had to go with that because Jenny's bike's so small. So if you had the short version, it's quite a bit shorter here, this gets closer, you won't be able to get that bag under there, so it's not going to fit under here. So we've gone with this so we can put the bag back further. And then we've got the AP rack bag on there as well, and this one's 18 litres. So she's technically gained space with this bag, but the interesting thing, if you are thinking about this system, is it's harder to do compression, so you can't compress your stuff down as well as you can with a bag on the back of the saddle. We found that, and she did have a bit of questions over doing it. So what we've done inside is packed sort of into the modules inside, so it's got the packing cubes and the tail fin packing cubes, and then compressed into those, and then being able to put it in. But it's a bit harder to sort of squeeze stuff in, so we've had to move stuff around, or Jenny has. And on the back there, got the Night Rider light. You know how much of a fan I am with these. So this is the blinder tail light. It's the magnetic one which just slides off. It's got USB-C charging on it, which I'm a fan of, as you know. So one of those. It just slides back on there. Loads of different modes, but on something like this mode, really visible, but it lasts for hours and hours and hours. And then the bracket is mounted to, so this is the rack mount version. It comes with a plastic bracket which screws onto this, which is the tail fin bracket. This is their version 2, and then that just bolts in perfectly into the bottom of the bag. And as you can see, it's just out furthest point from the back of the bike, so visibility wise is really good. So that's sorted there. She's got the sandals on the side there as well. I'll just cover off really quickly, so Jenny doesn't get bored, of the updates I did for the service yesterday. So we just put some fresh tyres on. She's going to be using the Mezcal She loves these tyres, but just needed to put some fresh ones on because she had worn the other ones off. Worn the other ones out, should I say. 100 ml of orange seal sealant in those as well. And that's those. And we did front wheel bearings, so we put some new Enduro front wheel bearings in that wheel. We did a full sort of strip and clean. New headset bearing because that was worn out, so we just wanted to change that for safety. The bottom one was a bit grumbly. New bottom brackets were done recently, so we didn't have to change that actually. New hub body bearings in the back, and then we did a hub body service as well, just for peace of mind. And what else did I do? I must have done other stuff. I took out. What were you, sorry? Brake pads, that's it. Jenny's here helping me out. So I did brake pads. So brake pads, we actually had probably half to 2/3 wear left on the brake pads, but I just wanted to put some fresh ones in because I've got no idea what it's going to be like in the desert in the sand. So we just put some fresh ones in just to be careful, and then Jenny does carry some with her when she's riding. So I think that's probably everything I did, and I'm just having a look. So that's the build with all the stuff on. Looks awesome, if I do say so. I think Jenny's quite happy, but we'll swap over because she's going to be way more interesting to listen to than me. Thanks for watching this video. I'll either add to this video or I'll do a separate one with what Jenny's packed into each bag. Bye for now.